Salah satu cara memperkuat investasi Indonesia-Amerika yang dibahas pada pertemuan G20 tingkat Menteri Perdagangan adalah diplomasi kopi. Sepanjang 2021, kopi Indonesia paling banyak diekspor ke Amerika Serikat, yang disusul kemudian ke Mesir dan juga Jepang. CNN Indonesia Road to G20 akan berbincang tentang bagaimana hubungan ekonomi antara Indonesia dan Amerika, mulai nilai dagang, peran perempuan, hingga diplomasi kopi Indonesia-Amerika dengan Perwakilan Dagang Amerika Katherine Tai secara virtual.
Thank you very much for having us here and for the opportunity. This is the great opportunity for us to do the interview talking about the Trade and Investment Ministerial Meeting for Road to G20. Thank you, Ambassador Katherine Tai. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on.
And I would like to focus about the trade values for both countries. That we have the outstanding data. Yes, in 2020-2021, the trade balance reached 35.38 billion in 2025. So I would like to know more about how does the G20 meeting boost the number of investment, and how about to enhance the bilateral relation between both countries, Ambassador?
Well, that's a great question. The G20 meetings are one of the most important forums for international engagement, and certainly for us as trade ministers for international economic engagement. I think the fact that even in the midst of very, very challenging circumstances, that Indonesia has been very successful in creating a constructive forum for 20 of the world's economies, large and small, developed and developing, to come together and to talk about areas where we can cooperate is a really strong signal to send to the world that we are focused on a global economic recovery. But also is a strong signal in terms of Indonesia's leadership in hosting the meetings this year.
So I would like to ask more about, specifically more about the commodity. We know that the U.S. total imports of agricultural product from Indonesia, there are so many sources like vegetable oils, cocoa, and also coffee. Yes, right. And don't forget about spices. So what can you tell about us? What can you tell to us about the latest cooperation and also the agreement in ministerial trade and investment through the meeting that you've just conducted with the ministries?
Certainly. Well, Indonesian coffee is world famous, certainly famous in America. In fact, I was just reflecting on the fact, I was looking at a map of Indonesia, and so many of the places in Indonesia are synonymous with our coffee culture. In fact, our nickname for coffee is Java. And I think that tells you how important Indonesia and coffee production is to coffee consumers, certainly in America. I also think that as we are all recovering from the most significant impacts from this pandemic, and more people are coming back to work, I expect that our coffee consumption is going to resume and perhaps exceed levels that they were before the pandemic. And that is certainly a tremendous opportunity for Indonesia and Indonesia's coffee producers.
One of the most interesting things in your visit in Bali is you have been conducted the several meetings, including with women leaders, right? And tell us more about what did you discuss, and how do we the women inclusivity in this G20 presidency, Ambassador Katherine Tai?
So thank you for asking me this question, because this was one of the most gratifying parts of my visit to Bali. And it really does complement the formal program at the G20. And we talk about the opportunities in the digital economy, the opportunities to democratize economic participation, the need for us to make sure that everybody has access. And one of the areas that we know worldwide, but certainly in Indonesia and also in the United States, is that women's participation, small business participation in the digital economy is really robust. It was such an honor to meet these women leaders in Bali. There were business owners, they were entrepreneurs, but they're also civil society leaders. And there are people who are working to very directly to make the world and working places a better environment.
Is it inclusive enough, or we need to do more to involve women in economic?
We always need to do more.
Okay, we always.
But this is a good start, but we always need to do more.
Before leaving Indonesia, Ambassador Katherine, would you mind to tell us more about the closing statement that you want to deliver to our view about what really happened in our diplomatic ties between Indonesia and the United States, Ambassador Katherine?
Certainly. Your viewers may not know, but as the U.S. Trade Representative and the Trade Ambassador for the United States, this is actually my second time serving in my agency. And the last time I served here was over 10 years ago. In that previous time, I do not remember Indonesia being as large a part of our trade conversation as it is today. And I think that that reflects a number of dynamics. One is the changing global economic dynamics, where opportunities keep growing. But I think part of it is also a shift in Indonesia's openness to engaging in trade and economic relations with the rest of the world and with the United States.
Because we are very large and also dynamic countries. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Ambassador Katherine Tai.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.